95% of recruiters use LinkedIn to find executive leaders. But if your profile isn't optimized, you're practically invisible in today's competitive job market. That's a risk you just can't afford. But what if your LinkedIn profile could work for you 24/7, boosting your visibility, attracting top recruiters, and positioning you as the ideal candidate? Well, here's the good news. It can. Coming up in this video, you'll discover how to find and use the right keyword phrases to ensure that your profile ranks in the top recruiter searches. You'll optimize the most important profile sections on your LinkedIn profile, including the headline, the About section, and your experience. And also fine-tune your profile to boost your credibility and the recruiter engagement. By the end of this video, you'll have a LinkedIn profile that attracts the executive search firms and positions you as the best candidate for the most relevant opportunities. Think about how you use Google. When you're searching for something, the most relevant results appear at the top because they have the right keyword phrases and the proper structure on the page. Well, LinkedIn works in a very similar way. Recruiters aren't scrolling endlessly through profiles. They rely on LinkedIn's search algorithm to surface the best candidates for the role. If your profile isn't optimized with the keyword phrases and the correct formatting, you'll never even show up in the results, no matter how qualified you are. That's why getting your LinkedIn profile right isn't just about looking good, it's about getting found. And once the recruiters find you, you want your profile to immediately engage them and demonstrate why you are the exact person for the role. The first step in optimizing your LinkedIn profile is making sure that you're using the right keywords. Because if you're not, the recruiters simply will not find you. LinkedIn's search algorithm works similar to how Google's search algorithm works. It prioritizes profiles that contain the right keyword phrases in the right places. But how do you know which keywords to use? That's where the ninja job search technique comes in. Let's dive in. The first step is to find several relevant job descriptions for the roles that you're really interested in. At this point, you don't have to worry about geography. It's okay if they're not in the same city or the same state that you're targeting. What we're focused on here is the common responsibilities and requirements among those roles that you're most interested in. Copy and paste the relevant text from each of those job descriptions and go ahead and put them into a document. A Google Doc, a Notepad doc, it doesn't really matter. The next step is to drop the combined job description text into ChatGPT. And then also put your resume into ChatGPT as well. Here's where the magic really starts to happen. I'm going to give you the exact prompt to put into ChatGPT that's going to combine those jobs that you're interested in with your background and make recommendations for your LinkedIn profile that will really help you get found by the executive recruiters who are looking for candidates just like you. So here I am in ChatGPT, and I've copied and pasted the prompt here. And if you want this exact prompt, go ahead and pause the video. You can take a screenshot, but I'll also include it in the description below so you can copy and paste the text. Now, anytime you're prompting an AI tool, the first thing you want to do is you want to tell it the role that it's playing. So in this case, you are an expert in the area of specialty pharma sales team recruiting. So when you use this prompt, you're going to need to change it so that what is the specialty that you're in, that's the kind of recruiters that you're targeting. The rest of this prompt, you'll be able to copy and paste and just use as you see fit, with the exception of just needing to update this piece right here. What kind of recruiters are you targeting? Okay, so now that we have that, what we've got here is we're saying we're going to put in the job descriptions. We'll summarize the commonalities between the roles. Be sure to include the target keyword phrases and prioritize them high, medium, and low. We'll also paste in the client's professional experience, or you can put the resume in as we talked about. Your task will be to make recommendations for optimizing the LinkedIn profile. The goal of these recommendations is to help the client get found by the recruiter. Very, very important. The LinkedIn optimization recommendation should follow best practices, including writing in the first person, because you want your LinkedIn profile, unlike your resume, you want it to be written in that more casual first person. So now that we have the optimized prompt, let's see how ChatGPT did. It's actually made some really good recommendations here. So it says, based on visibility, right? This is the whole thing. It totally understood our instructions. It says, yes, looking to increase visibility. Great. Here are some headline optimizations. This is the first thing the recruiters see. I appreciate that it says that. And it's an SEO rich, search engine optimization rich title that helps with the recruiter searches. So this is what it recommends. Senior specialty pharmaceutical sales rep with the pipe, HCP engagement. And you say, well, I don't know what HCP is, right? But healthcare provider, that acronym is absolutely known by the niche recruiter. So it's actually fine to put that in here. Market access and product launches, right? So not bad. And it says why. Why did it make these recommendations? Well, the about section, it did the same thing, right? It wanted it conversational, keyword rich, and highlight impact. And then it gave some examples here. So I help healthcare providers access the specialty pharmaceutical solutions they need to improve patient care, and so on. So what's missing here is just the detail behind some of the accomplishments that can be quantified. And that's because we're in process of writing this particular client's resume, so we don't have all of that detail yet. Experience section. Similar, right? So summarize the key responsibilities, highlight major achievements, and use LinkedIn-friendly, easy-to-read formatting. So it gives some examples here. Skills or endorsements. Again, these are prioritized for searchability. So the interesting thing about LinkedIn skills is you can put whatever you want there, but it gets much more weight in the LinkedIn algorithm once that skill is endorsed by someone else, especially if that someone else also is endorsed for that skill, because then you're kind of birds of a feather, so to speak. So, and those are broken out between high priority and medium priority. So you can have all of these in your profile, but just understand that these terms up here are going to be much more important than the terms down here. Again, you can have them all in there. You just don't want to go crazy with it with the keywords. So here it goes into LinkedIn activity recommendations as well. That's beyond the scope of what we're talking about today. And it gives some recommendations for LinkedIn banner, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And then I really like this at the end. It says, here's some final summary of what we've asked you to do. Optimize the headline, the about section, experience section, skills and endorsements, activity engagement, and banner optimization. Great. So now with that behind us, let's dive in to making these changes as well. Once you've identified the right keyword phrases, the next step is making sure that your profile tells a compelling story about what makes you unique. And that's where your career success proposition comes in. Your CSP is the foundation of your brand. It highlights your biggest career wins, your leadership impact, and why recruiters should take notice and contact you for an interview. So we won't go into detail on developing your career success proposition because we have a video that does that in detail, and we'll link to that in the description below. If you're finding this video helpful, but you're really not looking to take a do-it-yourself approach, I invite you to visit executiveresumewriters.com. There you can request a free consultation to see if our senior level resume writing and personal branding services are right for you. All right, now back to the video. But once you have that career success proposition or the CSP ready to go, now you need to be thinking about where's that going to go in your headline, your about section, and your experience section. Again, we've got a detailed video to walk through that process. Once you've got that, it's going to make the rest of this process much easier and much more impactful on your LinkedIn profile. So the next step is crafting a powerful headline for your LinkedIn profile, something beyond just your job title. Most people make the mistake of using their job title as their LinkedIn headline. But your headline is one of the most important parts of your LinkedIn profile. It tells the recruiters what you bring to the table beyond your current title. This is an opportunity for you to market yourself, so you want to get it right. And we've got a simple formula for developing that title. You want your current title or your target title if you're in between roles and looking for your next role, plus a core strength, plus an impact point that you have. For example, let's say we've got a client that has a title of Senior Vice President at XYZ Corp. They may already have that as their headline, but they're missing out on the opportunity to use that headline for something more. So let's see if we can do it better. A strong headline might be growth-focused senior vice president driving 500 million in revenue, digital transformation and AI strategy. Do you see the difference? A compelling headline makes you instantly stand out, not just on your profile, but actually in the search results, both on LinkedIn as well as in Google and other search engines as well. So you get to take advantage of this title because it shows up in external search engines, again, setting you apart from the other candidates who didn't figure this out. Your LinkedIn profile photo is one of the first impressions that recruiters get of you. And here's a surprising stat. Profiles with a photo get 21 times more views than those without one. So if you're missing it, you're absolutely missing out on the search traffic. If your profile doesn't have a professional, high-quality image, you're simply not going to get found for all the opportunities that you'd like to get found for. So here are some tips for creating an executive-looking profile photo. First off, use a clean, well-lit image with a neutral background. Dress for success, right? Make sure it's industry appropriate and make sure it's role appropriate. So depending on what role you're going for, you should dress for the role that you want. Make sure your face is clearly visible, no sunglasses, no hats, no busy backgrounds, no cropping out of your friend's arm around you. Make it professional. And give it a natural smile as well. You want to look approachable yet confident. So we're going to take advantage of a free tool from Canva that is the online background remover. Now, if you're not familiar with Canva, it's a tool that makes really anything that's visual much easier to work with. And we're going to use a free tool today, the online background remover. If you're not familiar or you don't have an account with Canva, you can create a free account. And if you run into any sort of limitations, the good news is you can subscribe monthly for a very reasonable rate. All right, let's dive in. And here you can see I've dressed for success. And I've got a pretty plain background there that's got some shadows, and I want to get rid of that. And all I need to do is just click the background remover button. You can see it going to work, and it's going to go through and pull all the background out of that. And you can see it's done a very nice job of getting that cleaned up. Once you have this, you can download it, and that's all you're going to need for your LinkedIn profile. So here you see the Canva templates page, and I've simply searched for LinkedIn banner, and obviously you can see there are dozens and dozens of options here. Some of them good, some of them not so good. Some of them very appealing from a graphic perspective. However, they don't make a lot of sense for LinkedIn banners. Because look, if we go to my LinkedIn page, you can see where the LinkedIn banner is and you can see where my profile picture is. So anything that's over here on the left-hand side is going to get covered up if I have it on full screen. Plus, the smaller you go, the more it will compress and you'll start to lose some of the effect that's here. This is also true on mobile as well. So let's take a look at some of the LinkedIn banner templates that they have. And really, I'll just focus on a couple of key points. The first thing is don't select a banner that has anything over on the left-hand side that you want people to see. You see some examples here where the name comes all the way to the center of it. Don't do that. The contact information on the left, don't do that. Don't put another picture of yourself on the left-hand side because then a picture of you will be overlapping a picture of you, which is not what you want. Again, if you've got words here, I would take the words, I'd put them all to the right-hand side and right align them. So you obviously can pick from dozens and dozens of options here. Many of them will work. Just keep in mind, does this reflect my industry? Does it reflect the role that I play? Is it distracting in the process? You don't want that. You want to keep it simple. Your LinkedIn About section is your chance to tell your career success story highlights, right? You get to highlight your leadership strengths. You get to highlight big projects that you've worked on. And you need to be thinking about the first couple sentences and how do you hook the reader? And why is that so important? Well, if you look, you only have a couple of sentences here before it says see more. So you need to hook that reader to click through because most people are just skimming on LinkedIn. You've got to grab their attention, get them to stop skimming, click see more, and tell them the rest of the story. That's why this is so important, those first couple of sentences. So you start with that compelling hook. Summarize your biggest career achievements, highlight how you solve problems and drive results, and also have a call to action. So here's my current About section. I help senior level professionals and executives develop their personal brand and move their careers forward. Our team of branding experts guides our clients through the proven process, saving them time and helping them build one of their greatest career assets, their professional brand. Then I've got some bullet points here that include the keywords that people may be using to look for people like me, and then finally a call to action. I'm open to partnerships. Go ahead and send me a message if you'd like to talk about your project as well. Here's a sample About section that will help you visualize how this comes together. As a results-driven operations executive with 2 decades of consulting experience, I've led digital transformation that increased efficiency by 40% and optimized operations across global organizations. I'm passionate about showing people how to leverage AI and data to drive innovation. A sample of my projects includes project number 1, X increase in Y, project number 2, improved efficiency by, project number 3, reduced budget by 10% while increasing productivity by 23%. I'm open to connecting with people in my industry, and you can reach me at then put in your email address. So very quickly, we learn the value this person can bring. We then click through, we learn more about the projects, where they've had success, and we know how to reach out to them directly to get in touch. Now, your experience section shouldn't just list job responsibilities. It should highlight the impact that you've made. We coach our clients on using the challenge, action, result, or CAR method. So rather than saying something along the lines of managed a global team of employees, you might say, led a global team of 50 to implement AI-driven solutions, reducing operational costs by 35%. Again, those specific achievements throughout your experience section will help grab the attention of those executive recruiters, and they'll also have you stand out from the other candidates who didn't bother to do this optimization. A lot of people don't know that you can actually do this, but LinkedIn, when you sign up, will give you a generic URL that often has a random set of characters at the end of it. Your goal here is to have a clean, professional LinkedIn URL that makes it easier for people to share your profile. So a bad LinkedIn URL might look something like this: linkedin.com/in John Doe 1234567 right? A better option would be John-Doe-marketing-leader, right? So if you're in marketing leadership, if you're a digital transformation person, it might be John Doe Digital Transformation. If you're a CMO candidate, it might be John Doe CMO. Again, make your URL fit so it also helps in the search results, and it makes it easy for people to find you for the role that you're most interested in. Recommendations from colleagues and mentors, they add credibility to your profile. And you can request testimonials from leaders or direct reports that you've worked with who can highlight your strengths. We recommend the give to get method here. So offer to write recommendations for others first. This increases the chance of them returning the favor to you. The process is actually very simple. So you simply click the plus button and you can give a recommendation or ask for a recommendation. Be as specific as possible when you write your recommendations. And if people need a little bit of help, maybe refreshing their memory about the work that you did together, you might also remind them of the projects that you worked on and the success you had, and make it a little bit easier for them to write your recommendation. Your skills section plays a major role in LinkedIn search rankings. And what you want to do is you want to prioritize your top 3 skills, since those are the most visible. And you want to make sure that those skills are matched to the job descriptions so that you've got that relevance, the job descriptions that we talked about earlier. If you want to amplify the value of the skills, you need to get them endorsed. Endorsed by people that you know, people in your network that also have the similar skills, so that, again, it's kind of the birds of a feather approach. If you're currently looking for a new role, then having your updates on LinkedIn visible to your entire network might make sense. But if you're trying to be a bit more stealth in your approach, then you're going to want to turn off the profile updates option here. So the way you do this is you go into your settings, and you can get there from going to your profile, clicking on the privacy and settings, scroll all the way down to visibility of your LinkedIn activity, and where it says share job changes, education, and work anniversaries. Currently that's set off. That's fine. If yours is set on, just know that if you make any of these changes, then it's going to notify your network. If you just don't want to take that risk, go ahead and turn this off. And then when you make those changes to titles, you add a profile video, you add some education or something about your job, then that won't notify your entire network. I know we've covered a lot in this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll be sure to answer them there. And now that you've got your LinkedIn profile optimized, the next step is to set up your job search strategy. With our clients, we call this the Career Forward Plan. In the next video, we'll help develop your own Career Forward Plan by setting clear goals for your search with specific steps and target dates and measurable milestones. This will ensure that you stay on track. So head over to the next video now, and let's set up your successful job search.